So there we go. We should be recording now. We're going to carry on giving some shout out. I love this part. We've got Joburg, South Africa. We've got Jamaica, Norway, Namibia, Italy. We've got Latin America, France, Austria, Trinidad and Tobago, Manila in Philippines, Tunisia, Southampton, UK, Wales. Well, we've got people from all around the world, right? And well, I'm going to start this call by saying, first of all, I want to apologize to all of you. I want to apologize to all of you because I made a commitment in the pre-launch in the past 2 weeks, in the build up to the Daisy project. I made a commitment to every single one of you. And I feel over the last 48 hours, I didn't do that. I feel myself responsible for your growth, for your lack of growth in your business. And I say that because I got carried away with the negative people. There may still be some negative people on here, and I understand everyone has the right to feel the way they do, and they need to vent out one way or the other. We understand that. But this call might not be for you. So it'll be totally okay if you needed to log off. You will not get an opportunity here to vent out your frustration, but we're going to give you an explanation. But this call is primarily for me to say, first of all, I apologize because in the last 48 hours, instead of focusing on the solution, focusing on the building of the business, which every single one of you are here for, we've been focusing on the 5% that are here just to rant, are here just to complain. And I want to start by sharing a story with you. Many, many thousand years ago, in an old village in China, there was this old wise man that was known to be able to solve problems for people, that give direction to people. And that's why everyone knew him as the old wise man. And as he was getting old, he started realizing that, yes, he's been giving direction to people all his life. But many people kept coming back and kept coming back and kept coming back and kept coming back with the same problem. And one day he decided to take a different approach. And what he did is he made sure that in that one session was only people who had been to see him at least 2-3 times for the same problem. And he sat there, he allowed everyone an opportunity to share their challenge. And they did. And what he did, he then shared a joke. He shared a really, really funny joke, and everyone laughed about it. Everyone was like, almost crying, almost in tears. They laughed about it. A few minutes later, he told the same joke. People still found it funny, but he wasn't as funny as he was before. I mean, some people giggle here and there, but he was nowhere near the same reaction he had the first time. And a few minutes later, he told the same joke again for the third time in a few minutes. Guess what? No one laughed. No one laughed. Everyone was puzzled, looking at each other, thinking, I mean, can we really still call him the old wise man? I mean, something doesn't add up. Is he losing it? And then he explained. He said, if you're not going to laugh about the same joke over and over and over again, why are you crying and complaining about the same challenges over and over and over again? The longer you stay within the challenge, within that bubble, you're part of the problem. If you want to be part of the solution, you genuinely want a solution, then you need to come out of that bubble, stop talking of the challenge, and start focusing on what you can do. What is within your control and the control of the people around you to become part of the solution. So once again, I apologize to the 95% of you here today because I've let myself be carried away and giving time and listening to the same people rant on the groups, on the Facebook, on the messages over and over and over again. And this call is to put an end to that. So we're going to go through what's happened. We're going to go through what's happening right now and what we can expect to happen ahead. And during that, we're also going to cover all the little challenges that some of you has run about. We will give you an explanation. We will talk about failed transactions. We will talk about what people thought failed commission, because when they were looking at their wallet, they were seeing, like, funny enough, I'm going to open it and show you right now. This is my what my wallet looks like. I hope you can see. There you go. Failed, 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 failed. And the problem, people were saying, that's my commission. Why is it failing? And when they clicked on it, it got worse because it was showing a fee. It was showing a fee, and people, rather than go and check, they just assumed that it cost them money. No money was taken from, no TRX was taken from their wallet. They just assumed. You see, they were part of the problem. They didn't want to try and learn. They didn't want to click on a button to see what exactly happened. They just wanted to complain. And you see, a great mentor of mine said, how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. So that, for me, would tell me, if I was doing that, I am not doing the right thing. Is that how I am to everyone, to my partner, to my kids, to my parents? Because that's not how I want to be. And that's the question you have to ask yourself. So let's just go back into what has happened already in the past. What has happened is, I'm getting a call. I'm just checking to make sure that it's not someone telling me they can't hear me or anything like that. No. What has happened is, we got introduced to an incredible, incredible, incredible project. You know, and I want to say a massive thank you, because I'm seeing some messages here, and you know what? I respect that. I mean, when I see someone who's, I see many of you, you know, my whole team of 2,450 people are with you. You know what? Big shout out to you. And this call is for you. This call is for your team, because once again, I apologize because of the 5% of people I allowed myself to not be here on call after call, helping you prepare to build your business, but I allowed myself to be dragged to listen to the same person ranting about the same thing over and over and over and over again. And today I decided I had to step up. Some of you may not like the tone of this call, and that's okay with me. That's okay with me. And the first disclaimer is, whatever I'm about to share with you is by no means or form a message from Daisy, from the creators. No, that's a message from me. As a crowdfunder, a contributor like you, as a leader, that's my message and my observation to you today. So that's a disclaimer that, are we going to defend the Daisy creator today? No. Where I think they went wrong, I'm going to tell you they went wrong. Because we're going to do that. We're going to make everyone feel and get rid of that negative energy, because from right after the end of this call, we move forward with the winners. We're going to have to leave some behind. We're going to have to leave some behind. You know, challenging times requires change. You see, when there's a challenge, if you have a pen and paper, write down the word challenge. The solution is always within the problem. When you have a challenge, you take the L, and the E away from the word challenge. It now makes up change. Change is what's required. Change is what's required right now for you to achieve what you want to achieve. Let me ask you this. How many of you believe that if you carry on ranting, complaining about the challenges, you're going to get to where you want to be? How many of you believe that if you keep complaining about the challenges, you're going to get even one step closer to where you want to be? If none of you, if that's not you, why are we still talking about the challenges? So let us today give you that one last opportunity for us together to talk about the challenges. Let's talk about the why, and let's put that in the past. Let's bury it. Let's not become the Ronald Wayne of Daisy. Let's not become the Ronald Wayne of Daisy. For those of you who don't know, Ronald Wayne was someone who owned 10% of Apple shares. 2 weeks after owning 10% of Apple shares, which in today's day, Apple is evaluated to be over $2 trillion. 10% of that would have been 200 billion, which, by the way, would have made that person richer than Mr. Elon Musk, who's just become the richest person in the world with 190 million. 10% would have made that person the richest person in the world right now with 200 billion. There were challenges. Looking at the challenges and expecting more challenges ahead, he decided it wasn't worth his time. It wasn't worth his effort, because you see, he was too much engrossed in the problem. He was part of the problem, never thinking outside the box and becoming part of the solution. And he sold his 10% Apple shares. For those of you who don't know, you may be wondering, well, how much did he sell it for? $800. $800. So some of you here, you're going to become the Ronald Wayne of Daisy. And that's okay with me, because that's not going to be me. That's okay with me, because we give you one more opportunity today to step away from the problem and become part of the solution. So what happened was, Daisy project was created to make sure that it's something unique in the market. It is by far the biggest, the best project I've ever seen in my life. But here's where it went wrong. And I blame them for it. I'm not here to defend Daisy or the creators. I do blame them for it. But in their defense, I've seen many companies who started just to scam people. Their focus was on making sure we can take your money. Their focus was not on making sure we can pay the people. Their focus was making sure we can take the money, because all they cared about was taking people's money. You've seen some of those yourself. The creators of Daisy made one big mistake. They focus on the smart contract, which is the part that pays out the money. They focused on the smart contract because that's the part that pays out the money, and they allowed the front end to not be as important, because when they tested their portal, they tested it for 100,000 people trying to sign up almost simultaneously within 3 minutes. And that stress testing passed with flying colors. So some of you may be saying, how could it pass with flying colors with 100,000 people? And just so that information that you may not know, as soon as there was 10,000 people on the website, it crashed. 10,000, not even 30,000, not even 100,000. The first 10,000 people crashed the website. And you must be wondering, well, why? How come? Here's why. They used a testnet. That's the only way. A testnet means you have the same kind of data, the same smart contract, but not live on the blockchain. It's not deployed yet. It's running on a server. And they used that, and they done the stress test onto the website for 100,000 people in 3 minutes, and it passed, bang, successfully, no challenge whatsoever. So they believed they were ready. We launched, first 10,000 people, bang, it crashed. Why? Because now it launched live. The smart contract was deployed. Suddenly now, it's not pulling data from a server. It's trying to pull 100,000 connections with multiple part of the information. It's pulling it live from the blockchain, which puts so much pressure on the servers that it blew up the servers. Not even the website crashed. It just blew up the servers. Now, let me ask you this. Should they have been more prepared for this? I would say yes. I would say yes, they should have been more prepared for this. But would you have preferred that they focus more on making sure they can take your money? Or are you happy that they focus on making sure that money that was taken automatically through the smart contract was distributed according to what it's supposed to be. And their fault is they focused. They focused on making sure none of you miss out on anything. Now, is that such a bad thing? Should they have focused a bit more on the website? Yes. But am I happy that they already proved their intention is correct by focusing more on how to pay out the money? Not even worrying that, hey, we need to make sure we can take people's money. I'm very happy that they did that. I'm very, very happy that they did that. So, but when that happened, there were other challenges that came about. And it started with people were having trouble logging in. People were having trouble signing up. People were having trouble upgrading. And all of that together led to a group of people who all they can complain about is where's the spillover? I see your sarcasm online. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh when I see people who say, where is the spillover that was promised? And they haven't even been able to upgrade themselves. They haven't been able to sign people themselves. They know there's a challenge with the system. They know they themselves hasn't been able to get people in. They themselves haven't been able to get their people upgraded. Some of you haven't been able to upgrade yourself. You just want the attention. What happened to the spillover? The spillover is the same thing that happened to you. You're having trouble signing up. You're having trouble signing people up. You're having trouble upgrading. Your people is having trouble upgrading. That's the same thing that's happening to others. But you make a valid point. In fact, you make two valid points. I give you that. The first valid point you say is, well, the numbers are growing. There's 50,000 people. And on that note, can you imagine we're part of a project? We're part of a project that in the first 4 days, with a broken website, broke every single record in this industry. $50+ million in turnover in 4 days. With a broken website. I let your imagination be the judge of what is about to happen ahead. It's your responsibility to think of what's going to happen ahead, and we'll get to that. The second genuine argument you make is the spillover was explained that it's going to come, it's going to rain. It slowed down. Some of you may not have had as much spillover as expected. Some of you has had more than expected in the given circumstances, whilst others have also not had any. Some of you has not had any. And I'm going to draw something to share how it works, because I think that's where I think we didn't focus enough on the education part. On any call where people talked about spillover, I think the one thing that wasn't there was the fact that no one spoke about how the spillover works. And there's some of you who understand it, but there's some of you who do not understand it. So let me just find my iPad here, and I'm going to draw something. And in the meantime, I'll share another little story with you. I love stories, right? Back in the days, in a European country, there was this man who was just retiring. And back then, in fact, even in today's date, they say if you own a horse, it's seen as a prestige, a privilege. And that old man was just retiring, and he decided to take his pension and buy a horse and let it in his yard at the front, which was nicely fenced and gated, just roam around. And as he did so, all the people passing around was like, wow, you're so lucky you now own a horse. And the old man will always say, good fortune, bad fortune, one never knows. And then one day there was a really bad weather and the horse was really agitated. that it ran away. But before running away, it made a lot of damage because there was lightning, there was thunder. So it really agitated the horse. And when everyone woke up, they saw the damage. He had broken the whole fence down and he had run away. Guess what the people living around said? We knew he should never have bought that horse. That was bad luck. And the old man said, well, good fortune, bad fortune, one never knows. A few days later, the horse returned. It had run away in the wild and it returned, but it returned with 2 wild horses following it. 2 wild horses with it. Now, the old man owned 3 horses. Guess what the neighbors said? Wow, he's so lucky. We knew he should have taken that horse from day one. The old man, as usual, said, good fortune, bad fortune, one never knows. And in trying to train these 2 wild horses, the grandson of that old man was trying to tame one of those horses and he fell and he broke his leg. Guess what the negative people said? The people who are only there to talk about things. They are not the doers. They're definitely not the doers. They started again. We knew he should never have kept those wild horses. That's bad luck. We knew it. He wouldn't have listened to us. He should never have kept those. The old man said, well, good fortune, bad fortune, one never knows. That same night, they heard the siren go. They heard the siren go. It wasn't the siren of the ambulance. It was the siren announcing war. And the army came round into the village and picked up every single fit man who was under a certain age. But guess what? The grandson, who's a fit male of an age to go and be a soldier, had a broken leg because of the horse he was riding. When everyone's son, everyone's husband, everyone's father was taken away to go and fight war, not being sure, not knowing whether they're going to see them again, their family again. The women who was there started saying, as usual, wow, he's so lucky he brought those wild horses. Because if it wasn't for those wild horses and his grandson not had the incident and broken his leg, he would also be going to war. And the old wise man said, well, you see, good fortune, bad fortune, one never knows. And I'm going to show you how the spillover in the same way applies. So let me make sure I can share screen here. I hope I can. Yep, here we go. There we go. Now that should work. Let's try again. Super. So we're going to draw, right? I'm going to draw, let's say there's A. Oh, let's use a different color. Let's say A is here. I just want to make sure we educate people of how overspill works. Now, let's say you are G and you've been referred by E, okay? You are person G. Whoever you are watching this, you are person G. Now, here's how overspill works. Let's say this is part of the structure that you are in. When you look here, there are, let me now put this in different colors. They have 3. If person A, the yellows don't exist yet, it's just the next spot. All the blue is what the part of the structure. You're person G, right? And you're saying, I haven't seen any spillover. Well, the reason you haven't seen any spillover is because this person just above you here hasn't done anything yet. And I don't mean it in a bad way. It may mean they haven't been able to upgrade yet, and that's why they're not putting their people. Because you see, their people will be the first to fall as soon as they fill up these 2 spots to fall under you. Maybe they haven't been able to register their people yet. It's been failing. But you see, when person A is trying to put people, he's got to fill up his level here first. He's got to fill up that level first, which you are on, before his person is going to fall here. The same applies to person C. If he's putting people, it's got to fill up these spots first before it fills up these spots, before then that helps A be able to put up here. But why do I say good fortune, bad fortune, one never knows? Is because all it takes is for A, B, or E to place someone eventually doesn't mean it has to come straight away, that falls into your matrix, because none of us have any control of the overspill. My sign up will fill up my levels first, but you may be here. You may be 2 levels down. Until my 2 levels are not filled up, what I sign up is not going to come under you. But that one person that comes there could be, hey, we just read a message earlier about someone saying, me and my 2,450 people are with you. Imagine that's that person. Maybe they're already there on $100 contribution. They haven't been able to upgrade, so they haven't put their 2,000 people yet. You got to remember, you can't complain about the challenges of not being able to sign people up, but then say, but where is the spillover? Because everyone has the same challenge as you. Everyone has the same challenge as you. You've just got to choose whether you're going to become the Ronald Wayne of Daisy because of that, or you're going to be focusing on the solution because you're here for the long-term gain. I think personally, for me, and I'm talking me right now, spillover is a blessing. It's not a requirement for me. You were told about overspill will happen. Have you wondered why between 50,000 people, you only see the same 100 or 200 people complain on the Facebook pages or on the groups? Have you ever wondered why? It's just luck of the draw, because some of those other people have received overspill or spillover, and some of them know it's coming. Eventually it will happen. See, they don't want to become the Ronald Wayne of Daisy. Some of you, you have to make that choice. None of us can make that choice for you. So I hope this explains how the spillover works. Maybe something that should have been made clearer. That is something that should have been made clearer. But I thought these few days that we have before the second version of the launch is the perfect time for us to educate people on it, so that we can allow them to choose whether they want to stay in the bubble of the problem and be part of the problem, or whether they choose to step out of that bubble and become part of the solution. Because from right now, at the end of this call, I wanted to do this publicly. I will not entertain anyone messaging me, any Facebook group, any WhatsApp group saying, complaining. No, I'm sorry. I won't even respond to the message. And I urge every leader to do exactly the same, because we're going to convey this message to everyone. This is their one chance to understand, to be learning, to be willing to learn, and we move on. Because have you ever heard of someone getting a divorce because their neighbor on the other side, the couple was fighting? If you don't get a divorce because the neighbor across the road is fighting, why would you stop your business because the person across the road has a negative mindset? Why would you stop your business because the person across the road decided without overspill means it's no good? They're only here for overspill. And that's okay. If you're only here for overspill, that's your choice. You just gotta wait for it. I have no doubt it will come at some point, because we're still in the very early phase. The 50,000 people you see, you know why is that? And understand that is a part that makes people say, how can there be 50,000 people in the system and I have no overspill? That's a very good observation. I rate that. You see, when the website crashed, there's a big group of people, a whole team that has a vast amount of experience with smart contracts. So what they did because a smart contract requires no website, no front end. You can literally, that is the beauty of decentralization, the beauty of a smart contract. You can go directly onto the blockchain. You can go directly onto the blockchain and purchase your smart contract. And everything happens exactly the same. 50 to 70% goes to Endotech for trading. 5% is paid to the person who introduced you. And all the other bonuses are paid. And you can go and verify any transaction, whether done through the website or directly on the blockchain. By going onto the blockchain, you can verify that. I will make sure over the next few days that we have, we're going to do a video to teach you how that is done. We're going to teach you how that is done. That is what makes Daisy special. Let me ask you, what would you do if tomorrow, for whatever reason, you know, God forbid touch goal, but the creators of Daisy were flying the plane, that the plane, you know, exploded or had a crash? Guess what? As sad as it would be, and with touch wood, it doesn't happen. Your business is safe. Have you ever been part of a business like that? I guarantee you haven't. Today, you're part of a business like that, but you're choosing to focus on the challenges that makes us stronger. You're choosing to overlook that this business done $50 million in 4 days with a system that you're complaining about. Rightfully so. The system didn't work. Complain away. But what would it do when we're back to normal? So the 50,000 people came from people who had experienced smart contract. So that part of the leg, obviously you're not in that part of the leg. They're filling up their matrix. Guess what? Great news. Because when spillover comes, now it comes to the people who hasn't filled up their matrix yet, because they've been leveraging their expertise, which is good for them, but it means they are filled up their matrix. So if any overspill is coming, let's say I'm here and the person who's filling up their matrix is here. When overspill comes from above, and it will eventually come, it will fill up my matrix first, because they've already filled up level till here, I'm here. It has to fill up 2 of my levels to get to them before they can receive any spillover. So I'm loving it, you see, because I'm looking at the solution. I'm looking at the solution. The smart contract works. That's all that matters. I can go on the blockchain and purchase my smart contract. That's all that matters. When someone purchases the smart contract, everyone who needed to get paid gets paid. That's what matters. Not where is the spillover sarcasm. We don't need that. And if you're on this call and you're not happy with what you're hearing, guess what? Log off. I'm okay with that. Even if you're my direct, if you're in my team or not, I'm okay with that. Log off. You may not like what I'm saying, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the 400 other people on the call, because they are here with the intention of not becoming the Ronald Wayne of Daisy. They're here with the intention of not becoming the 2-3 people that didn't turn up to the first meeting of Facebook and missed out. Because you know what happened to them? Do you know what happened to the people who didn't turn up to the meeting of Facebook? We know Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire. What happened to the others? No one knows. And truth be told, no one cares, to be nice. To put it in a nice way, no one knows and no one cares. So if that's the person you want to be as part of Daisy, that's your choice to make. That is your choice to make. But I have to make sure that I don't let my business be affected because of your negativity. The people on this call cannot afford to have their business affected because you decided you want to get a divorce. They can't get a divorce because of you. They can't divorce Daisy because that's part of their future. That's part of the future. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the share here so we can move on to other things. So what is happening now? Before we go into what is happening now, let's talk about failed transactions, fees, and what some people thought were failed commissions. Failed transactions. Why have transactions been failing? Well, the blockchain has been congested, the fees has been high, so a lot of transaction has been failing because it's asking for high fees. Even when people transaction was timing out. Timeout means, hey, the blockchain is just too busy to be able to perform the required action when you're trying to purchase your smart contract, you're trying to contribute. It failed. How is Daisy? How is your upline? How is your upline? How is any leader to be blamed for that? Talking about blame, I saw some of you saying, hey, yeah, this person made X amount of money and you were having a go. You were complaining that someone else made money. I saw a post, someone complained that, hey, XYZ made $50,000. Okay. Did you know that person put $100,000? Did you know that that person put $100,000 and they work their off non-stop? Whilst you were complaining, they were working. Whilst you were sleeping, they were trying to get people in. You didn't think of that, did you? Just some food for thought for you. But transactions been failing, the fees been high. And because transaction fails, here's what happened. As you all know, right now, no one can sign up, but some people haven't got the message. So here's what happened. People have been trying to sign up. So you see failed transaction. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, here you go. Failed transactions. These are failed transactions right now. Look at the time because it's 7:45 in UK. This was about, well, 7:20. That was about 25-30 minutes ago. A failed transaction means someone just tried signing up, which if their transaction went through, I would have been paid what it's showing here. So if I click on any of them, at the bottom, let's have a look. At the bottom right, you see says view detailed data. If I click on that, it will show you the whole transaction of everyone that was supposed to be paid if the transaction of the person succeeded. It shows you the owner address, the wallet starts with TG. That was the person that was trying to sign up, to the smart contract address, and all the people that would have received commission. But because his transaction failed, and it tells you why here, his transaction fell out of energy at the top. Oh, let's see if you can see it. Fail out of energy. Because his transaction failed, the commission that would have been sent to you also failed. That is just how the blockchain works. It's not any missed commission. No one has missed any commission. We have done at least 200-300 wallet address that we've gone and checked if everyone who should get paid is getting paid. Yes, the displays had been wrong because they disconnected the display. The display meant it had to pull the data from the blockchain, which would put all the pressure on the servers in the first place. So just to make sure we're educating you, because you may have this challenge in the future. You may see, or your team may see, hey, failed commission. And they will come to you and say, hey, why is my commission failing? You need to know. You need to know so you can also educate your team. Okay. Now, what is happening now is Endotech has decided to develop the front end of the portal themselves, as opposed to the one we were using that was developed by a third party. Now that we know the kind of load it will put on the servers, we're spreading the servers into multiple different group of servers so that not everyone's accessing the same server at the same time. And they've also found a solution, although that's pretty much more blockchain related, but we found a solution on how we can help reduce those fees. Some people end up getting charged 1,000 TRX, $30 for a failed transaction. Now, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. And if you've been ranting about that, you have every right to. But guess what? That's not your fault, but it's not Daisy's either. That's just the blockchain. But we found a way to make sure that our transactions are going to be at the lowest fees possible, which is why part of the next few days that we've taken off is to work on that. So when the new website comes, it also comes with the opportunity of people to join more smoothly with a much, much reduced fee. Well, now for those who are anticipating the, let's call it the launch 2.0, I know you have some questions related to the pace setter and related to the 48 hours. The pace setter bonus was coded wrong. The pace setter gold. So instead of having to do 24 personal sign up with a combined contribution of at least 128,000 to become a pace setter gold, it was set at 21 and 64K. If you've qualified for it, congratulations, you're grandfather. No one can change that. You're gonna remain pace setter gold. If you hadn't done it yet, then now on, you're gonna have to do the full qualification. You're gonna have to have your 24 and 128K for you to qualify. The 30 days is not going to be reset, not because they don't want to, it's just not possible. That is not possible to be changed. What does that mean? Some of you will say, well, but we've got 2 days, 3 days, we can't do anything. Yes, you can. That's why we're doing this call. So we get all the challenges out of the way. And we start getting back to work. Not being able to sign up people is no challenge. I've got some people here, some who are on the panel list, some who are not. They know. I keep part of them. They know. The last time we ever was part of a financial service industry network marketing company, there was 3 weeks we had no access. No access. Like, the website crashed. The website crashed. They had to redesign it completely. It took 3 weeks. It's not going to take that long here. Because here, you see, in a normal, typical network marketing company, the website does all the work. Whereas here, the smart contract is fine. It's just a portal to access it. In those 3 weeks, we done the most work because literally the week after we relaunched, that time, well, it wasn't even a relaunch because we were working. That's when some people hit the highest rank they've ever hit in their life because the work didn't stop. Time does not stop for anyone. You have to choose whether you stop your work and then you have catch up to do, or you carry on doing the work. So the 30 days will not be reset. It is carrying on as it is from the day it started. It carries on. But good news is, every one of you, whether you signed up before or you're looking to sign up, whether you received spillover, whether you didn't receive spillover, whether you've qualified for multiple levels or not, the first 48 hours, when we have a new website portal access again, the first 48 hours, once again, everyone will get paid off the full 10 levels. Let's just make sure you understand what this means. This means the 10 levels of the matrix. Some people thought, hey, I contribute to the $100 tier and I will get paid on people's 102,000 contribution. No. Whatever tier you have, you will only get paid on that. All it means is, but instead of being limited to your generation 1 and 2 in your matrix, no matter where someone falls into your matrix, no matter which generation, you're going to get paid on those in the first 48 hours when we relaunch. Okay, so that is what's happening right now and what's going to happen ahead. And part of what's going to happen ahead is, I believe, in the first 4 days of the relaunch, we're going to break a massive record in this industry. You know what record we're going to break? We're going to break the record that was just set in the last 4 days by Daisy. I know no company that has ever done $50+ million in their first 4 days, let alone with a website that crashed, with servers that crashed. So today, the question is really what you're going to do coming out of this call. See, you've watched races before, sprint races, coming out of the blocks.
some people are like right out of the blocks because, you know, they're focused. They don't see what's happening to the left. They don't see what's happening to the right. They have a goal to get to the finishing line. Everyone has their personal goal. Some people want to get there in 10 seconds. Some people in 9 seconds. Everyone has their personal goal. And then there's some people who's too busy focusing on what left is doing, what right is doing, and they stumble out of the starting blocks. Today, you have to decide. You have to decide whether you ever want to look back at this project like Ronald Wayne looks back at Apple, $800 instead of 200 billion. Whether you want to look back at the people that never turned up for the meeting for Facebook when they were invited on day one, and they turn and look back at Mark Zuckerberg's billions. Whether that's what you want to do. Some people say, I want to wait. Team, wait, let's hold. We're going to see what happens. That's great. Good for you. How you do anything is how you do everything. Good for you. Guess what? You may receive some spillover. Don't expect to make life-changing amount of money. Don't expect to compare to the people who's working, because these are the people who'll be the first to come out and say, man, he made more money than me. And you know what? You start giving excuses to yourself. Oh, he got in first. He's close to the top. He already had a team. No, none of that matters. None of that matters. All they did is they put in the work. They put in the work. They didn't look left. They didn't look right. They put in the work. So here's what I want to hear from you guys. I just want to know what kind of people we have here on the call. The chat is working. You can only send the chat to the panelists. On the last call, we had people trying to spam their links. And I think that's just, I didn't want to be on a call like this to be chucking people out. We didn't want to do that. So we've set it in such a way that you can send a message to the panelists. So here's what we would love for you to now share. What is your plan? What do you want to do? And what I'm going to do, I'm even planning, because if I keep seeing, there's some groups I'm in, I'm going to exit those groups. If I see one more post about someone whinging and complaining, I tell you what, winners don't quit and quitters don't win. Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. So I'm going to get myself away from the negative people so I can give you, the positive people, the attention that you need, because from tomorrow, we're starting presentations again. And that presentation someone who's negative right now is going to look at it and they'll come up with all sorts of excuses. They are going to find a way to complain. Complain away. Complain away. It makes no difference to me, because I made a commitment to the people. I made a commitment to the people on this call. I made a commitment to thousands and thousands of people who came on my calls before we launched. And I intend to, I often say this, a commitment that I make to people, I see it as a debt, and I don't like to have debts. I've never had debts in my life. So I'm going to make sure I pay those debts off by making sure I honor the commitment I made to you. So because of that, we want to see here on the chat how you feel, what's your plan, what do you want to do? And I'm going to read out some of these as we go along now. And this call is coming to an end. That's what we wanted to share with you. We have something incredible. We have something incredible. And I want to ask you one more thing before I read these comments. Do you use Amazon Prime? Do you know Amazon Prime crashed on the day one of their launch? They crashed their servers. Why did you not say, Amazon should have thought of that first? I'm never going to use Amazon again. Guess what? If you did that, do you think the shareholders of Amazon cared? No, because it didn't matter to them. Because they had the entrepreneur mindset. You see, there's always a difference. You can always tell from far who has an entrepreneur mindset and who has a consumer mindset. A consumer is waiting for things to be perfect, because that's when they spend money. A consumer spends money. An entrepreneur needs and likes to position himself before it's perfect, before the wave hits, because they know when it's perfect in the future ahead, the consumers are going to be queuing up to spend their money. And guess what? That's where the spillover comes from. The spillover comes to those who have the entrepreneur mindset. They position themselves before the wave hits. So let's go and have a look and see what are some people saying. We are with you at 100%. Thank you for stepping up. Let's have a look. I'm just going to read some random one. Avi, the 30 days mark will restart on next launch. Octavio, no, it won't. The 30 days is ticking. The time is ticking. It cannot be changed on the smart contract. That is ticking away. So guess what? That's why it's important that we made this call, because our work needs to tick away as if we have the website. Right now, we're going to sign people up technically, verbally, and 2 hours later, I'm going to be doing calls for them with 20, 30 of their people. We're going to get them verbally to confirm they're going to sign up. We're going to do calls for these people. We're not going to slow down. In fact, we're putting the foot on the accelerator. Now is the time to get the work done. If you guys think we've been running, no, we've been crawling. Now we're going to start running. And all we're looking for is who we're going to run with. Who we're going to run with. Someone says people needs to be patient. The dynamics of what Daisy is huge. This is powerful. When does trading start? Very good question. Trading has actually started. The first trade was taken. We got a notification. I thought this was posted in the group. If it wasn't, apologies again, because we've been so focused with the people complaining. Some of the information hasn't got to everyone. The trading first trade has started. Daisy all the way, winners, not whiners. I love that. I'm sharing and educating my team. That's the way forward, Andrea. That's what we need to do. We need to educate ourselves and educate our team. I'm a winner. I'm allergic to quitters, just like me, Prince Ali. I love that. Absolutely love that. Where and what time of the presentation? That's the kind of question that gets me fired up even more. Rodrigo, we're going to get that out to you guys. I just need to reach out to some of the leaders and just start fixing it. It's likely to be UK time, 11 a.m. tomorrow and 7 p.m. And if we need to fit in more, the leaders out here, you tell me. If you tell me you can get people on a call, you give me a time. I don't care if it's 4 a.m. in UK. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. in UK. I don't care if it's 6 a.m. in UK. Like I said, I made a commitment to you. I'm going to be here to make sure I honor that commitment. The only ever reason I'll say no to someone who can pack up a call is because I've already got a call. It's never going to be because I want to sleep at that time. It's never going to be because I need to spend time for myself. Never. If I'm not available, it's because I've got another call. Other than that, you tell me the time you can pack up a call. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go hard. The front windshield is much larger than the rear view mirror. James Jackson, I absolutely adore this. Excuses are tools of incompetence that builds monuments of nothingness, and those who specialize in their usage are seldom capable of anything else. I totally agree. Heading forward full force. Once you hit Pacesetter, you will have requalify every 30 days. Farah, very good question. Once you hit Pacesetter, you're qualified for life. You never have to hit it again. You're qualified for life. Someone said inviting prospects for webinars. Absolutely. We're going to pack it away. I tell you what, here's my goal. I don't know who's with me on that, but here's my goal. We're going to create in the next 2-3 days even more momentum that we created in 2 weeks of the pre-launch. That's my goal. We're going to create more momentum in the next 2 days, 3 days that we created in the previous 2 weeks in the pre-launch. You know why? Because we're going to tell people the story. We're going to tell people that the website crashed. We're not going to lie to people, never. But we're also going to tell them we crashed it because of the amount of people that was trying to sign up. We're going to tell people what we did and what's coming. I plan to keep on sharing and recruiting more people. Wonderful, Anne, James. Building now, get all my leads and set up Tron Link wallets for everyone. That's it. You're getting prepared. You know, it's better to be prepared and not called than to be called and not prepared. Let me say this again. It's better to be prepared today and not called. You might be called tomorrow. You're still prepared. Day after tomorrow, because we don't have an exact day of 2, 3, 4 days. We're launching the website. We need to be prepared right now, because it's better to be prepared and not called than called and not prepared. And this is what happened to a lot of people. A lot of people, when the link came out, they didn't even have their Clever Wallet set properly. They didn't migrate it to Tron link so much. It's better to be prepared and not called than called and not prepared. Carla said, time to make 2021 your best year ever. You can either be a part of what is about to happen or ask yourself in a year, what the hell happened? I love that. Someone said, I'm all in, Daisy to the moon, ready to hit pace setter. Lisa, my plan is to sign up as soon as I can. Make sure you go back to the person who invited you and you sign up with that same person, right? My team is ready to move forward. We don't tolerate negativity. We're all in. Chuan, thank you very much for your message. It's a personal message, so I'm not reading it. I'm not going back. Forward I go. Wonderful, Zelda. I think Daisy team makes some mistakes, Frank. Totally agree, as I said, but they're doing their best to correct everything. They're human, thinking of giving opportunity for another 48 hours on the relaunch. Exactly, Frank. And in fact, it's going to be even bigger and better ahead. Short-term challenges, long-term gain. Lovely. I can't read everything. I wish I could. There's so many messages. You know, it's lovely to see people who are fired up, who are aligned with the vision of Daisy, with their own vision. And guess what? Like I said, 95%. Any of you who are part of the 5%, you still have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. And I can share this with you because I've been in similar situation where I used to be of the 5% that will complain and whine. And you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about what you're complaining. What is not right is you're still staying in that bubble of complaining rather than coming out and moving forward in life, right? And that's what we're trying to guide you and support you in doing, because together we're going to create the biggest spillover ever. And let me say this again. I'm not saying sit there and wait for spillover. I'm saying together is when we can create the biggest spillover ever. Because you know what? Forget the person above us. Forget the people above us here, just the people on this call. We, between us, these 400 people, we can create the biggest spillover for each other. That's how it works. So with that said, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone. Someone just asked if they can go on the Tron scan directly on the blockchain at the moment and upgrade. No, it's everywhere. It's set where the fee is 1 TRX and it will never go through with 1 TRX. Okay. How can we know the results from the first trade, Rodrigo? Every result, you can still access your portal at the moment on the fund side. I don't know how accurate it is and how to read that myself yet, just to be very honest. It's a question that I've just fired away, in fact, about an hour and a half before the call started. So we're going to make sure as soon as we have that, we're going to communicate those with you. And I think that's why I'm talking about just make sure you stay connected, you stay tuned. If I see, I'm going to evaluate the next few hours. If I see anyone post negativity on the groups that I'm in, I'm going to be candid, I'm coming out of those groups. I'm going to create my own. I didn't create a single Facebook group till now. All I have is my WhatsApp broadcast list. I didn't create group because I didn't want to allow people the opportunity to try and cross recruit. And I didn't create group because, you know, I trust all the leaders that we have. But when I see things like that, if I need to step up and make my own personal group, and hey, everyone knows this about me. Even if you're not in my team, if you're ready to rock and roll and you need our support, I'm here. I don't do this for financial gain. I don't look at people as a step ladder of financial gain. I look at people to say, who can I push up the ladder? It doesn't matter if you're in my team, in my matrix or not. Many of you on this call, I see some names, you know that, you can vouch for that. You know, I have been there. I've done calls for people who's not in my team. I had people message me saying, hey, thanks for the call. We didn't know we were in your team. And I said, no, you're not, but it doesn't matter. We form part of the team, the Daisy team. That's the team that we form part of. When I join a project, I become the project. That's me. I am the project. And we're going to help whoever we can help, irrespective of financial gain or not. Okay. So if the groups are nice, I'm going to keep to that group and I'm going to start posting more. I'm going to start posting all the calls we do, but I don't want to invite negative people on our calls. I don't want to invite negative people to come onto the calls where you have your prospects. So I'm going to evaluate the groups. And if I see that it's not fit, I will create a new group. Those new groups, to get access to it, there'll be certain requirement. There'll be certain requirement. I'll need to figure out to make sure that, you know, I've got software. I'm gonna speak to my friend who owns this software that scours all the social media, and it picks up that person. Have they mentioned any negative word on any Daisy group or Daisy related post? Bang, you won't be allowed in. I'm candid. I'm ruthless mode now. I am ruthless mode because once again, I cannot let my relationship with my partner be affected because the neighbor across the road are having a fight. None of my business. Absolutely none of my business. So we hope today's call provided some clarification, hopefully some education to some people, and maybe allowed some people, we understand for some of you it was tough. You put a lot of money in and it was tough. It was challenging to move away from that challenge. So we hope today's call helped you in some way or form to be able to start focusing on the solution and move away from the problem. So we thank you everyone who was here for being here for the call. We look forward to seeing you on the next call. We're going to send out the schedule very, very soon. We're going all out. We're going all out. With or without you, we would just love you to be part of it. All right. So thank you very much. Have a blessed day. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And we'll look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Okay. Thank you.